My name is Inga Caldwell, and I am the Associate Director of Environmental Law Programs at the Elizabeth Haub School of Law at Pace University. Joining me today is one of this year's Jeffrey G. Miller National Environmental Law Moot Court Competition Judges Committee Vice Chairs, Jennifer Kelly Kennedy. Regina Rubino is the other Judges Committee Vice Chair. I would like to start by thanking you for volunteering your time to judge NELMCC this year. This is the first year that NELMCC will be held completely remotely, and there is a learning curve for all of us. We appreciate your patience as we navigate this new format together. This year's competition problem is an interesting one on whether the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has a non-discretionary duty to designate greenhouse gases as a criteria pollutant under Clean Air Act Section 108 based on EPA's 2009 endangerment finding. Jennifer, if you could please advance to the next slide. Before the competition. In each Zoom courtroom, we hope to foster a learning environment for the student competitors that is the same caliber for in-person competitions. To aid with running things smoothly, we have asked you whether you would be willing to serve as a chief judge during the rounds that you volunteered for. The Judges Committee will designate chief judges before the competition and let you know which rounds, if any, that you are a chief judge. The chief judge will have the primary role of communicating with the bailiffs, and as a co-host of the Zoom courtroom, will have the ability to mute and unmute anyone in the courtroom. If the bailiff has internet connectivity issues for some reason, we ask that you use your judgment in whether or not to continue the round, and that you contact the Judges Committee Vice Chairs to alert them of the issue. Additionally, in the weeks leading up to the competition, you will be receiving an email with score sheets, this year's problem, a confidential bench memorandum, and sample questions to aid you with preparation for the rounds that you have volunteered for. We ask that you review those materials in advance of the competition. You will also receive a master document with Zoom courtroom links before the competition. Please note, however, that you will not know what courtroom you are in until you check into the Zoom judges headquarters at least 30 minutes before your assigned round is scheduled to begin. Please advance to the next slide. During the competition, check-in. Please arrive to the Zoom judges headquarters link at least 30 minutes before your assigned round is scheduled to begin. In the judges headquarters, you will check in with the judges committee, who will let you know what Zoom courtroom you have been assigned to. The Judges Committee will also be happy to answer any of your questions before the oral arguments begin. Once you are checked in, you may exit the headquarters and log into your competition courtroom link, which will be on the master sheet that we have previously provided to you. Please remember, if you have any questions at all during the competition, you can log back into the Judges Headquarters room link. Joining the Zoom courtroom. Once you know which Zoom courtroom you've been assigned to, please click the link in the master sheet to log into your Zoom courtroom at least 10 minutes before the round is scheduled to begin. Once logged in, you will be placed in a temporary waiting room. And an example of what the type of message that you will receive is at the bottom of this slide. So Zoom will send you a message saying, please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon. The bailiff will then let the judges into the Zoom courtroom and will answer any questions that you have at that time. Changing background. Jennifer will now demonstrate how to change your background to the courtroom background that we will have provided to you. To change your background, go to the stop video icon on your screen and hover your mouse over. Click on the arrow and scroll down to choose virtual background. Once you're in the choose virtual background screen, click the plus sign next to virtual backgrounds to add an image. Once you have added the courtroom image that we have provided to you, click on that image and add the virtual background. Renaming. It is important that you rename yourself in order for the competitors to know exactly who you are. To rename yourself on Zoom, run your cursor over your screen and you'll see your name appear. On the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you will see 3 blue dots. Click that box, which brings you to a drop-down menu, and simply click on the drop-down that says Rename. Please rename yourself as either Chief Judge and your last name, so in this case, it would be Chief Judge Kelly, or Judge and your last name, Judge Kelly. Once you have entered your name properly, click Rename, and you will see your updated name appear correctly in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Once the judges and bailiff are all set, the bailiff will allow the competitors into the room and the competition will begin. Muting. Please keep your camera on throughout the entire round. You should, however, mute your microphone when you are not talking. Muting your microphone is very simple. Move your cursor over the screen, and in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see the microphone icon that says mute. Simply click on the icon. Once you have done so, it will change to mute with a red slash through the microphone, which means that your microphone is muted. Just remember that when you do want to speak, please be sure to unmute your microphone. We ask that all judges be mindful and try not to speak over each other. Please also note that you may want to keep your cell phone on silent during the competition to avoid any potential interruptions. Gallery view. We recommend that you have your screen on gallery view throughout the competition. This will allow you to see the other judges and the competitor presenting at that time. We have asked the competitors and the bailiff to mute their cameras when they are not speaking. You can hide non-video participants by right-clicking on someone with their camera off. So to demonstrate this, I will turn my camera off. And now Jennifer will hide non-video participants by right-clicking on my name and then scrolling down to hide non-video participants. So now you should only see those who have their video on. Interruptions and connectivity issues. Because this competition is entirely online, we may experience some technical difficulty. There may be lagging issues, someone's microphone could go out for a second, and we ask you to be patient with the participants. Unless there is a technicality that interferes with the argument, there is no need to interrupt unless you have a question. If a technical issue arises, please make sure that you alert someone who is helping to run the competition so that we can fix the problem as quickly as possible. You can always return to the judge's headquarters at any time with a question. If a chief judge drops off the call or loses their internet, we might need one of the other judges to step into that role and take over temporarily. Please be aware that all rounds will be recorded. These recordings will only be used by the NELMCC board in certain situations that require review. Otherwise, the recordings will not be made public. We are now going to return to our PowerPoint presentation. Score sheets. Once the round is over, the bailiff will send the competitors back into the waiting room. At that time, the judges may confer and fill out their score sheets. The bailiff will provide you with his or her email address. Judges will email completed score sheets to the bailiff. Once all judges have submitted their score sheets to the bailiff, the chief judge will notify the bailiff, and the bailiff will let the competitors back in from the waiting room to receive your feedback. Thank you so much for helping to make NELMCC 2021 a successful and enjoyable experience.